The world's a dangerous place. Get the industry's original and most trusted laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. A laser and light systems will enhance your effectiveness and help keep you and your family out of harm's way.
While Tom's at the SHOT Show in Las Vegas drooling on all the new stuff, he left this best of show for us to run. It's a good one. Just sit back and enjoy the show, and Tom will have his SHOT Show special next week. Now, here's Tom.
All right, welcome to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. Now, we're doing something different. It's a little bit experimental. We're actually doing our Guns and Gear TV shoot in a studio. I got a whole bunch of folks lined up here. We're going to see how this works out. So we're actually doing radio and TV together. Now, I'm sitting here with Aaron Moore from Lyte. We got Mike McNett from DoubleTap Ammo, John Vehr from Timney Triggers, just because you guys were the original guinea pigs, i.e. victims. Thanks for being here, guys.
Where are we exactly?
Well, you don't know, do you?
I thought we were walking somewhere.
You were walking somewhere, you got snatched up and thrown into a chair and said, oh, guess what? You're going to do some radio.
Wear this Lyte shirt.
Wear this shirt and say something intelligent, because you'd be the only person to do that.
I'll do one of those really good.
Yeah, there you go. So we are in the, for those who know, we do Guns and Gear television. We shoot a studio portion, and then we go out to the range and shoot the guns and play with the lasers and the ammo and all that stuff. And so we kind of cycle through, and you guys have all been here before. You know the drill. So we come in and we do our studio part on this beautiful set we have here. So those who are listening on radio right now, we're actually shooting video of this too. So it's a combo of TV and video, and you'll be able to see this on our YouTube channel. If you check out the Gun Talk channel on YouTube, you'll be able to check that out. So, first of all, Aaron, tell them where you live and what you do.
We make lasers for guns in northern Arizona, about an hour and a half north of Phoenix.
Cottonwood,
Arizona.
Okay.
Is our headquarters. We make lasers for guns. We do laser bore sighters, laser gun sights, and most popular right now is our laser training system.
And we're going to do crazy laser training shootout here before too long.
You got it.
We got that. All right, Mike McNett, DoubleTap Ammo. Talk to me.
We're out of Cedar City, Utah, not too far actually away from Lyte, just north of them. And we make a full line of ammunition from little 204 Ruger all the way up to 50 BMG, and it's all premium stuff and 441 loads. So we make pretty much
441 loads, except probably you came up with like 2 more ideas this morning, because that's what you do.
You know, during the show I had a new idea.
You did, didn't you? While we were actually shooting the TV show, you had an idea, didn't you?
Yeah, I
did. What was it? You going to tell us?
Well, yeah, I think I will.
Okay.
I'm actually thinking about how we could make the 308 more of a long-range cartridge than it already is.
Yeah.
And I have some ideas on a different bullet to use in it, and I'll come and talk to you again if it works.
260 grain 308 bullet. It's going to be like this long, but there's only going to be enough powder charge that I can just kind of go poof.
Yeah, and just adding to it would be nice, but we won't be able to stabilize the darn thing.
That's true.
So,
you did a 1-4 twist.
Yeah, I'd love to do a 240, Match King in there and just rail it out of there, but we'd have to have a 1-8 twist probably to make it happen.
Right.
So I have another idea, but I won't divulge it until it works.
Okay.
And then, or even if it doesn't work, I'll come back on the radio and talk to you about it.
Even if it doesn't work?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. Sure. There you go. All right, John Vehr, what's going on in your world, man?
Just new stuff all the time, Tom.
Yeah?
Yep. I'm John Vehr with Timney Triggers. We're in Gun Valley, Arizona.
Right.
That's Phoenix for the rest of you.
Gun Valley?
Gun Valley. There's lots of gun companies.
I like it. So what's the story on Timney Triggers? How'd you guys get started?
Oh, golly. Back in 1946, a guy named Alan Timney came back from the war. He was a gunsmith and decided that Mausers and Enfields and Springfields needed new triggers on them. And that was back when people weren't watching TV. They basically just got out in their shops and played around. They were recontouring barrels and taking old military stocks.
People were sporterizing anything they could get their hands on.
That's the word for it, exactly.
Yeah.
But they were doing it themselves,
Right.
And the basic missing link there was a good, accurate trigger. And Alan came up with the idea of making a modular trigger that anybody could put in their rifles, and we've grown from there.
Because
we started out with 4 triggers, and we're up to about 180 triggers now.
Jeez.
Exactly. You go, what? And I know people say, well, that's a nice little business. Yeah, you make a couple of triggers. And you're going,
one or two.
Not exactly. Well, don't you guys find, I do this, people say, well, you talk about guns on the radio? I mean, how can you talk for 3 hours about guns? What do you mean? We talk about guns for like 15 hours a day.
Didn't we do that last night?
Yeah, we did 3 hours just last night. That's exactly right. But, I mean, don't you find that people have no idea the depth and the breadth of what you do?
Honestly, Tom, I didn't when I got into it.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, I thought, all right, Mausers and Springfields, and what else could you possibly make a trigger for?
Right.
And then I started buying guns. I went, well, that needs a new trigger. And that needs a trigger. And you'd be surprised what doesn't need a trigger.
All you're doing is feeding your own habit, then, is what you're saying.
You know, you told me a while back we turn money into noise.
It's true, isn't it?
That's what I do.
That's what we do. We turn money. And it doesn't matter if it's guns or cars or boats or airplanes or something. I mean, there are guys who race lawnmowers, right?
I saw that. And you know what I thought? I want one of those.
Of course you did. It's a guy thing. What can I tell you, you know? But then you see when you go, I think I could mount a gun on that. So we're cutting the grass and we're cutting down stuff at the same time. Hey, guys, hold on a second. We'll take a quick break, a little soap selling, and we'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
What makes a legacy? Is it quality? Craftsmanship? Maybe it's the idea that every American deserves their right to security and peace of mind on and off the battlefield. What makes a legacy? Here at Colt, we're making it every day. Colt, built one at a time, proven every round.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to TimneyTriggers.com. That's TIMNEY Triggers.com.
Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
It is pretty crazy around here. We're going with the tactical claw grip. What were you demonstrating at the break there?
The overhand grip on a Red Ryder BB gun.
Oh, on a Red Ryder.
When you have a sniper rest on the top of a golf cart.
Of course.
That's right.
On a golf cart.
On a golf cart.
Explain that to me.
It wasn't my story. I just elaborated. It was John.
What are you doing?
I was out in Texas a few years ago, and we were on one of those exotic game ranches.
Right.
And there was a buffalo. A bison. I'd always wanted to shoot a bison, but they're expensive.
Right.
And it was later on in the evening, and we got out on a golf cart, and we were driving around the ranch, and I spotted the bison. I had my Red Ryder BB gun, and I crawled out on the roof of the golf cart, and we got close enough for a Red Ryder to hit it, and just popped it about 3 times.
Did he know it?
He knew it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was like...
So it was a high-powered Red Ryder?
It probably moved at 30 to 40 feet per second. Easy.
Man.
That's like Magnum ping pong ball.
That's right.
How was the trigger on that Red Ryder?
Oh, it was dreadful.
Okay.
That's when he came back. He started working on the trigger for that one
That's
too.
it. That's
It's what you do. How'd you get started in this business?
Let's see. 10 years ago, I wrapped up in college after various degrees of stuff that I don't really apply to anything now.
Right.
Basically came back from overseas work and went to work with my dad for 2 years. Well, my dad started the company 28 years ago.
So he had Laser Light going before you came back.
He did. He started various other guns things, including SWAT magazine, still alive today.
Sure.
Went through some other businesses, but started Tacstar, the pistol grips and stuff.
Right.
So he was into it, and 10 years ago he owned Laser Light, and I was like, you know what? I don't like these other jobs I'm working. I want to come and get some experience in some sales.
Right.
2 years in sales and go off to grad school, and that's it. About 8 months into that, I met my future wife, and then kids started flowing.
Making a living became important at that point.
Then I started getting a lot more focused on the whole laser business.
Isn't it interesting how that happens? Yes.
And then I was kind of, all right, I'm in it for the long haul, but I want to be an owner or partner in the company, and worked into it. And 10 years later.
Okay, so all right. How do I start this thing?
Right. So
we're just going to do a tactical shooting on the radio here. So.
Oh, lights are too bright.
Okay. We've got our studio lights on here. We're killing us. That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, describe what we're doing so people can kind of get an idea.
So this is Score Time Target. It has about 170 LEDs that light up and show each of your shots. But more importantly, it has a timer on it. So 5, 10, or 15-second timer. And that's important because you could challenge your friends for bragging rights.
There you go.
So
there you go.
You draw a line in the carpet, and then you put it on a 5-second timer and see how many points you could get in that given time.
Tell you what, we're going to try putting that over like on a shelf over there. We'll see if it goes in the dark. We'll use it over there. We'll have a little shootout. We'll play with that thing.
And then you can elaborate from there as some people, you put on the 15-second timer and you do a tactical roll over the couch and then 3 shots and then jump over the footstool and 2 more shots.
So you can engage it from the golf cart.
That's what people have been telling me.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
My friends have been doing.
That's right. It's not that anybody would ever be shooting from a golf cart. Nobody we know.
Yeah.
No. Mike, what got you into this crazy business?
At the end of the day, I've been loading really with my dad since I was 8, and had really fallen in love with developing loads and getting things together as a hobby earlier on from college and forward. And I worked in various jobs, in advertising and others. And
so you worked in the real world before you came into the gun business.
I did.
Okay,
I did.
Because this is where we escape when we're tired of the real world.
This isn't real work. Yeah. This is all fantasy and fun.
Yeah,
and
it is.
At least we like to tell ourselves that, right?
Well, it's okay. Working 14 hours a day in this business is better than 8 hours a day in anything else.
That's right. And I decided that I wanted to work for myself and not for somebody else. Mm-hmm. And what the heck am I going to do that's going to do that for me? And after some reflection, I decided that the world needed more 10-millimeter loads that were full power. And
you were probably the only person who thought that.
I probably was, actually, because they had all dropped their full power out of the lineup. I think you're exactly going, right.
What did he do?
Yeah.
Say what?
He's going to start a company on what?
On 10-millimeter?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, and full-powered ones? No. Those are being phased out.
That's right. That's why we got the 40 S&W.
That's right. That's right.
Or the 10 Lyte, as they call it.
Yes. There you go. People have other things they call it, the short and weak, but I like the 40. I don't like to call it the short and weak because I do like the 40. But
he'll say it again for you one more time.
It has been called the 40 short and weak. But,
see, I told you he would.
And the crazy part is that starting the company on that, and I really worked for about a year and a half trying to figure out how to correctly make those loads, not just for myself but for other people, which is a completely different thing.
That's because they're just not as smart and as discerning as you are.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
No, they want what they want, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, you got it right. You need to make sure that it works in everybody's gun. It doesn't matter how wonderful or how cheap the gun is. You need to make sure it works in every gun. And now we're the largest manufacturer of 10 millimeter ammo in the world, and
crazy.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of
crazy.
Full
power?
No, it's short and weak.
You know what? Yeah. even our match load in 10 millimeter is full power. We don't have.
Let me tell you how good this stuff is. His 40 short and weak is as powerful as some companies' 10 millimeter. Correct?
Yeah, you got it exactly
right. True.
Yep.
I mean, he's loading 40 S&W to energy levels that are higher than some 10 millimeter loads.
Yeah, I would say at least half the 10 millimeter loads that are out there.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
My hands hurt.
Now, the question I get from a lot of people is, okay, yeah, I know that Mike loads stuff really hot. All right, hot is almost like a pejorative term. It sounds like it's bad. But you don't go over the industry allowed maximum pressure.
No, we're a member of SAMI, and we load to SAMI specifications and pressure and external dimensions, and we subscribe to that. And so when you say hot, first thing that comes to mind is, wow, is that going to hurt my gun?
Is it safe?
No. Yeah, it's and I like to say load it to its full potential or high performance, because we still stay within those parameters. Kind of like if you were talking about cars or something like that. We're not a dragster.
John's eyes just got a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
he got
cars. He got excited.
He's
still hung up on lawnmowers over there.
I think so.
He's online buying a racing lawnmower, right?
What color should it be?
Yeah. Can I get flames for free if I buy the lawnmower?
There you go.
But anyway, long story short, there is a big difference between loading it hot, which is overpressure, is usually what you think of when you say hot, and loading up to its full potential. And we still leave a margin of error and a safety cushion in all of our loads, but they are loaded up just through by design to make them. We don't try and cut corners with loading less powder and save 2 cents in a round because we're using less powder and all that stuff. We load them to the full potential. They're all literally hand inspected, and most of our ammunition, especially our rifle ammunition, is still hand loaded. Because of that, they're more consistent, and we can load them. We can actually load them a little bit warmer than you could if you load them on a gigantic machine.
Sure, because you have tighter controls.
Yep.
Makes sense. Well, I'm just thinking about what you do, John. You've got these gorgeous CNC machines, this beautiful plant. I've walked through the plant. It's gorgeous. But at the end, you've got people working on your triggers at the very end, don't you?
Absolutely. There's a science to it, but then there's that Timney feel. And everybody there is trained that what the Timney feel is. We've thought about using robots, we've thought about automating it, but in the end, there's a certain feel that we haven't been able to achieve any other way than just people who know what they're doing.
A trigger is about feel. I mean, that's why. Otherwise, why would you have it?
Right, exactly. I mean, the best trigger is no trigger, but think about it. If your brain says gun go,
right,
then that's the best trigger.
Sure.
Barring that, something that eliminates movement and allows you to adjust your pressures is the right way to go. So everybody who tests a trigger is really knowledgeable in what that Timney feel is. It's not just the gun goes off. There's an actual feel to it.
It's interesting because I sat there and watched them, and they're actually, they're trying each trigger. They're snapping each trigger and making adjustments before it goes. That's crazy, right? From a manufacturing standpoint.
Yeah, it's crazy. But what's not so crazy is the fact that our triggers get used out in the sandbox on once in a lifetime hunts. They have to work perfectly every time.
Mike's about to go chase a hippo. You want the trigger to work.
I was just asking about triggers for the rifle that I use for.
Really?
I'm going to use the 505 Gibbs. I was just literally no lie here. I was literally just asking about that for that exact reason. I use his triggers all the time, and they're outstanding. They're because they put that same. You can tell the consistency like we do in our ammunition, and it's because they're hand checking them just like we're doing. It's the same thing.
It doesn't matter if you're shooting for self-defense or if you're shooting in the military or you're shooting at something that can go chew on you. It's pretty important to have that. And then, of course, if you just want a gun that, and it's going to sound crazy, it's just more fun to shoot. Really. Isn't it true if you get a better trigger, the gun is more fun to shoot?
Is it supposed to be fun shooting? That's very serious stuff.
Well, I hate shooting. You're right. And in fact, I've been trying to give it up unsuccessfully for pretty much most of my life.
I thought it was to defend yourself or put food on the table. You can't have fun doing it.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm going to stop smiling. Okay. That's right. It's so, John, what kind of shooting you been doing recently?
I love shotguns. It's my favorite sport.
Sporting clays?
Sporting clays.
No kidding.
You, me, Ben Avery.
Come up to my ranch.
Yeah. Dewey.
I've got some traps sitting up there, and we can go across the creek and shoot some clays. I love it.
Yeah. What do you shoot?
I've got some side-by-sides, Fausti side-by-sides.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
And stuff.
Very fun stuff.
I got a case to open and show you when the radio show's off.
I want to see it.
We got some smooth bores over there you might want to take a look at.
Really?
Yeah, I just happen to have a couple of Italian things over there.
I'm game.
Yeah, I knew you would be.
I'm curious.
There's something about wing shooting. It's interesting you mentioned that. I love shooting, all guns, handguns, rifles, and all. But there's something, I don't know, it's zen-like. It's just weird when you're trying to intercept a flying target with a flying cloud of pellets, and it's a time and space thing, and they all have to collide at the same place. And there are no sights, because if you put sights on it, you'd miss every time.
Exactly.
And every time you try to aim the shotgun, you miss. So you have to stop aiming in order to hit. It's like this upside-down, backwards, bizarro world, and it makes it so much fun.
It is.
I love it.
You can't go shooting pistols or rifles in the morning and expect to do well with your shotgun.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point, because they're that different.
Yeah.
And I found you can take shotgun shooters and make good pistol and rifle shooters out of them. But somebody who's a hardcore rifle and pistol shooter, it's a lot more work to get them breaking targets. Don't you find?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really something. So, as you can tell, you make triggers. You don't make triggers for shotguns, right?
We make them for the 870.
Okay.
But, you'd use that for slug shooting in the Northeast or turkey hunting.
I guess my point is, all of us, we do what we do, but we also like all the forms of shooting and all the different kinds of guns, and we think they're all pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And now that we got Mr. Ammo sitting next to us, we can all shoot more.
Yeah. He mentioned 50 BMG, and I'm like, what?
I tell you what, hold that thought. When we come back, I want to talk about the 50 BMG, what it's about, and let's talk about those bullets that you put in there and what you're doing with those things, okay?
All right.
And also, we're going to get this target out here. We're going to be shooting targets on radio, which is actually on TV. So after you listen to this on radio, go to our YouTube channel. You can watch what we're doing here, which is kind of insane and silly, but there you go. All right, Gun Talk. We'll be right back with more of it, kind of a TV radio thing.
A reloaded edition of Gun Talk.
I'm not sure who's Larry, Curly, and Mo, but we definitely have them here. I got to tell you, what the heck were you guys doing during the break there? We got the target set up over here, and Aaron's got his guns. I don't want to call them toys because they really are pretty good trainers. These are cool deals.
Outside the fun stuff, you could actually learn some stuff.
Do it. Lay it on us here.
So I have the timer set to 5 seconds.
Okay, listen up. Here it goes.
Beep. From a low ready, I'm going to punch out and put as many shots on target. Obviously, the middle ring's 10 points. You want to go for that. So 137.
That's a good group.
All right, Mike. Here's your challenge. You got
pass the mic here. So shoot the left circle.
All right. Let's see here.
There you go. At the beep.
Here comes the timer.
Low ready, then punch out.
I'm going to have a hard enough time keeping up with you no matter what I do.
Okay, aim towards the target at least.
Oh,
it's
no.
Like a shotgun pattern.
He did not say that, did he?
Give me that big gun.
Oh, he wants look at this.
That's
John says, I'm not using the compact. I'm getting the big gun.
All right, I'll clear it here.
John Vehr from Timney Triggers is now, all right, here it goes. Timer coming down.
Beep. Yeah, low ready, good. All right, punch out. Don't blame the trigger.
He's afraid
That's
of the
a terrible
recoil.
trigger.
Oh, listen to this.
See how it pulls me off all over?
He's already critiquing your trigger.
He's afraid of the recoil.
But we can help you.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. We have a solution for that, all right?
That was the worst score yet. 68 points. What was mine? 160.
Man.
You going to go?
Heck no. Are you kidding me? I'd embarrass myself. Of course I'm going to go. How do I get this thing started?
Left circle.
Left circle.
Okay. At the beat.
All right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Low ready. Another cheater here. Disqualified.
Of course, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? There you go.
Look at that.
We got a player.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, here's my question. We have one of these in our office, and Ryan will go. He has it in his office, actually. And you guys know Ryan. And he says, I have a conference call. I have to go in. And he closes the door in his office. And then faintly through the wall, I hear... So, that's some conference you got going over there. He's shooting the darn thing, So why would you not have one of these things? I mean, how much fun is this?
I can't figure it out. I consider myself a clever guy, and I don't know why I don't have several of these.
I think you're about to.
I know I'm about to.
It's a great idea, and on a serious note, it doesn't get much better than that for getting trigger control and learning muscle memory and getting trigger time in without. I hate to say it, without wasting a lot of ammo. I mean, I don't mind.
My God! Shut your mouth. Says the ammo man. That's terrible. I can't even believe you said that. Now, one of the things we were talking about earlier, Mike, I said, before we got here, I was telling him about this setup. I said, you also have the wherewithal. You have the whatever you need. You could do this kind of thing with your hunting rifle with your cartridges that you have. Yep. So you have cartridges that slide into your gun, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a 223 cartridge. Then it's on the 223 calibers, but then you can slide it into a popular hunting caliber 308, 30-06.
Right.
And what people generally use for that is trigger control in the house. You can't really shoot lasers out 100 yards for laser training because the dot's not on long enough. But you could sit in your basement or sit in your wall or teach a kid to rack it and then have a good trigger pull on it. Because a steady dot would be a good shot.
And one of the things you could do if you're getting ready for a hunt, you could practice having the gun on your shoulder slung, and then when it's time, you unsling it, bring it up, and then get on target and pull the trigger. And it gives you some feedback. Am I on? Am I off? And just working on, as we say, just the mount coming up and squeezing it off, and you get better. So many hunters, and you guys have seen this, they only shoot from a bench. And then they get out in a hunt, and they're holding the gun, and they're waiting for the crosshairs to stop moving. Well, they're not. You got to just do it at some point. And that's where practice like this is. You got to learn to just trust the wobble and just go with it, right?
Yeah.
What I trained with a lot in my hunting was repeat or follow-up shots are necessary for some reason.
What are you saying here?
Yeah. So what I trained was shooting from the shoulder, but full rack. Fire, steady dot, fire, rack, and go again, and stay on the gun and keep racking it, and try to get consistent shots in a group somewhere.
Well, and a lot of people want to bring the gun off their shoulder, and you need to learn to work the bolt at your shoulder.
Yeah,
makes sense. And that's another one of those places where a good trigger not only allows you to shoot better, and I'll tell you this, and it sounds crazy, when I have a rifle with a good trigger, I have more confidence when I walk out. I mean, to the point where I've actually said this, I know that if I see it within a reasonable range, and for me that's in the 300, range, I can hit it. If you've got a good rifle with a good trigger, it's just not even a question, right? I mean, you shoot enough,
Yeah, absolutely. If you get, it helps you get confidence in your setup, and it's an integral part in actually being able to shoot, at any range at all. Really, is having a nice, clean, crisp trigger that's light but not too light. Everybody has their own idea of what's perfect, and that's what's nice is if you have an adjustable trigger, then you can decide what is right for you.
Where do you like your triggers?
I like my triggers right now around 3 to 3 1/4 pounds on my hunting rifles.
Okay, how about you, John?
2.5.
2.5.
Stock out of the box. We have some horse trading.
You guys need to talk. It's as simple as that.
That's ugly.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. My media relations guy, Chris Ellis, he's a big guy.
Right.
He likes a 3.5 pound trigger pull, and I'll watch him shooting, and he does this kind of figure 8 thing.
Right.
And then when he hits the trigger, it hits the bullseye every time. I am amazed. I mean, it just wobbles all over the place, but when he touches the trigger, he knows exactly when to touch the trigger, and it goes off. And that's the key in shooting is if you've got a creepy, heavy pull, and your barrel's wandering all over the place, your eye might say go, but your fingers got this latency.
Right.
And by the time you make it go off, you've missed.
Right. You can't time it. You just have to keep the pressure up and just allow, because the wobbler's not going to take you off the target, generally speaking. You know, that's the whole thing. All right, hold on a second here, guys. We'll take another quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk triggers, ammo, lasers, guns, sporting clays.
Lions,
I don't care.
tigers,
Lions, tiger. We got a lion over in the corner there, too. I don't know if you guys saw that. We got a lion. That's right. We'll be right back with more gun talk.
In today's climate, you always need to be ready. Nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights. Shoot better. Stay safer. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge.
The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle combines features of the Ruger American Rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire Rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022 style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
It's time for the Brownells Trivia Question. Brownells, serious about firearms since 1939. Are you a gun know-it-all? Well, you may have a chance to win the Brownells GUNTALK FN SCAR 17S Dream Gun and a trip to the NRA show in Louisville, Kentucky, May 19th through the 22nd. Here we go. John Moses Browning had a relationship with a number of companies, but spent the majority of his career with FN, Colt, or Winchester. To answer and have a chance to win, go to brownells.com/guntalk. That's brownells.com/guntalk. When it comes to firearms, Brownells has more, knows more, and does more, and guarantees it all forever. Brownells is serious about firearms.
A great rifle and scope won't do you any good if your mount fails. Whether it's for hunting, competition, or tactical use, Warren has a rugged, reliable scope mount for you. Warren scope mounts are the choice of top competitors and professional hunters alike. American-made quality and performance you can count on. Visit your local dealer or go to warnscopemounts.com. WARNE scopemounts.com. Set your sights on Warren.
All right, we're back with the Tom Gresham Gun Talk. We're sitting there with Aaron Moore from Laser Lyte, Mike McNett from DoubleTap Ammo, John Vehr from Timney Triggers. We're doing this experiment because this is fun. We're actually in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're shooting the Guns and Gear television show. So we're rolling cameras because we have all this talent here, and then they left, and then you guys showed up. So what
are they behind the scenes?
I was looking for them.
Who knows?
So you guys are horse trading in the middle of the thing. So what? We got triggers going one way and lasers going the other way?
Yep. Up and down the highway there.
Yep.
So what is it I heard you say about you're going to start giving away the first trigger?
It's kind of funny. We get emails and letters from people. They'll say, I tried a friend's rifle that had your trigger in it, and now I've got 6 or 8 triggers in my own rifles. It's as soon as you got a good trigger in your rifle, you can't go back to a bad trigger.
It ruins you.
It does.
It truly does.
People get a hold of us and say, do you make a trigger for X? Mm-hmm. And if we say no, they go, well, I'm not buying that then.
Really?
Honestly.
I'll be darned. And then you do triggers for weird stuff, like Tavors and weird. I mean, who would have thought of doing a thing like that? You
want to know the weirdest one, Tom?
Okay.
Mosin and Gant.
Really?
Really. Okay. We sell thousands and thousands of these triggers every year. And I look at it and I go, but our trigger costs more than a rifle does.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're kind of going, okay, we'll make it, we'll sell it.
Sure. We've got a button on the website that says, what should we make next?
Right.
And people send in email after email going, we want this.
Right.
Like this year, people said 2-stage triggers. And I've been a single-stage trigger guy since I was born. And so they said 2-stage, and I'm like, you can only say no so long.
Right.
Then you have to go, all right.
No, I say, okay, that's what you want. All right, you got it. Now, I had to ask you, Aaron, you got the Glock sitting here. What do you got in the Glock?
Okay, so this is, again, on laser train stuff. Laser train is about 50% of our business.
Wow. Okay.
About 3 to 4 years ago, it was about 8% of our business. So it's grown a little bit over the years.
Well, it's partly because people know they need training, but mostly it's because it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
I mean, come on.
It saves ammo, saves time for people who care about that. And
Mike's going to hit you when you say save ammo.
It saves on the target ammo. You always need your premium ammo.
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So this is a drop-in trainer barrel for the Glock. Currently for the Glock 19 and 23, same unit. Pull out your barrel, put in the new laser trainer barrel. It has an integrated laser in it, integrated snap cap, and your gun is completely safe. It can never chamber around now.
Okay, so now it just becomes a laser gun, but it's my Glock. It's my gun with my trigger and
your
my sights.
Whatever you have on it.
Okay, but there's no way to get a live round in there.
Nope.
Okay.
So it's completely safe, so you'd leave it out if you had to.
Okay. Now, of course, being a Glock, you do have to at least rack it a little bit to recock it.
Yep.
That's sweet, though.
Yeah.
I like that. I can see getting a lot of training value out of that.
Any way you train with your Glock currently, whether it's in your holster or it was built from the kind of law enforcement inspiration of force-on-force training. You want to wrestle around, grab a gun, and put one shot somewhere.
Right.
It needs to be a good shot so you could track where your shot was, and then they reset and do it again. So, so that's.
You're always tinkering with stuff, man.
Well, we listen to our customer as well.
Well, that's what I'm hearing. I'm listening to all you guys. You're all saying the same thing. Our people call in and they tell us what they want, and you're smart enough to make what people want.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to listen to the guys that are building their business for you.
Yeah.
And I think all three of us have the same ideas, and that's be customer driven in how you're moving forward. And
what's the weirdest ammo you make?
Weirdest?
Yeah, I mean, you have to have something you're thinking, we make it, but I'm not sure why. What?
Oh, gosh, that's a good question.
Well, I'll tell you what. We ask about the 50. We talk about the 50. Tell me about the 50 caliber.
Okay. The 50 BMG is really a cool monster. It is. We have one round or one load that we load now. We used to have two. The other one just sometimes wouldn't shoot as accurate in some rifles. It'd shoot great in 8, and then 2 of them it wouldn't, so we discontinued it.
What's the bullet weight you have now?
750 grain. We use a barn solid brass. Oh, yeah, it's darn near 2 ounces.
2 ounces?
Darn near, it's close, and it's it's traveling out of a 30-inch barrel at around 2770. And
the ballistic coefficient is over 1?
Over 1. And it's legitimately over 1. Not just its claim to be over 1.
So let's see. It's big. It's heavy. It's expensive. It's got a lot of recoil. It makes a lot of noise. Where do I get one?
Exactly.
Want one?
Yeah. Everybody wants one. They make them in all flavors now. It used to be when they first started coming out with rifles, single shots, and bolts.
Right.
That it was really a pain in the neck to get one. And then when you did get one, it was really hard to find an accurate one. Nowadays, a lot of manufacturers are making really rifles that can be accurate if you have the right ammo in it.
And I know people say, well, what am I going to do with that? You're going to go have some fun. You're going to go out, particularly where you guys live, out in the West. You got some big open spaces out there.
Yep.
Man, you can back off 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 yards and still have a safe shooting environment. And uncork
easily.
it, And, the other thing is, when you shoot one, somebody shoots one and they're like 100 yards down the way. First time I heard one, it sounded like somebody ripping a sheet of cloth going, it sounded like an F-4 Phantom jet as this bullet goes screaming across this valley.
Wow.
It's incredible. You don't have one. I am shocked. I'm surprised you don't have one of these.
You don't have a 50?
Not yet.
Even I have a 50.
You have a 50?
Yeah.
Oh, man. You got a 50. You got a 50.
Several, yeah.
Several. I like that.
Of course. What's your favorite?
Maudus. I have an M2.
Okay.
Of course.
My favorite's a Ferrari, too, yeah.
I didn't have to think about that one very long.
All right. Hold on, guys. Take a quick break here. John's going, Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. Be right back with more Gun Talk. I just told the guys here that we're going to take a lunch break, and what have you said? Well, we're just going to keep talking about guns. What was the story you just told about last night?
So last night, Ryan and I were at a adult beverage establishment. We can say that in the bar. We were at a bar. Okay. And there was a big old grass-fed boy sitting to our right. You could tell he was consuming more beverages than we were, and you could just tell he was into guns and stuff. And he was alone at the bar. And she saw us, goes over, sits down next to us. I'm like, Ryan, this guy's into guns. I know he's into guns. If we start this conversation, we'll not end. We're pharmaceutical sales reps. And
so you went out incognito.
We're like, we're pharmaceutical sales reps. We sell Narco 24, which is an anti-sleep drug.
So we're just making up drugs.
Just made it on the spot. And I tell you, it worked perfectly. He's like, oh, it was just confused and like, oh, well, I'm in construction, blah, 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 blah. And
says, you guys are boring. Yeah, but if you talk about guns, it's a whole different deal. So there you go. All right. Quickly, tell them what this little bitty thing is.
Okay, this is a grip laser called the Mighty Mouse laser. We're trademarked Mighty Mouse. Okay. It fits on every single .22 Magnum North American Arms revolver ever made.
And I have one of those. Yep. I like those little guys.
And you need one of these.
I do.
So it replaces your existing grip, which takes about 2.5-3 minutes.
Okay.
One screw, put it on. And the firing grip for these is just pretty much one finger. So
sure.
Put that one finger there.
Not much to hang on to there.
And then the trigger's right there. But it's fully adjustable, so
really?
You could put .22 Magnum rounds in there, or you could put .22 LR rounds in the .22 Magnum frames with the cylinder swap out. Mm-hmm. But it basically turns... This gun is so accurate that you have no idea.
Right, because you can't take advantage of it because of the little short sight radius.
Exactly.
But you put a decent aiming device, i.e. laser on it. And, I mean, you can hit stuff. I mean, I know people are going to think I'm crazy. You can hit stuff at 25 yards with no problem with this.
I have video of me shooting 21 feet, 3-inch groups consistently.
Yeah.
Not the first or second time, but every single time. Punch out, little bit of training on this trigger to know the exact break on it.
Sure.
But 21 feet, 3 inches.
It's beautiful.
So all day long.
Now, that's a gun that you can hide.
Yeah, no kidding, yeah.
So this is perfect gun. I call it the flip-flop gun because in Arizona, when you're in flip-flops and shorts and you don't have any other place to put a gun,
there you go.
You can always throw this one in your pocket and it's there.
I did hear about a narc agent who had to make a meet and a buy, and he had to do it on the beach wearing Speedo.
Yeah.
And so he had one of those. He dropped it down inside of his big gulp cup.
Oh, there you go.
And then reached down inside of his drink, pulled it out, and made the arrest right there.
Nice.
With his little North American Arms.
Cool.
Yeah, mirror bar. Now, how cool is that? I mean, there's stuff you do. And people say, what do you guys do when you get together? We talk guns, don't we? I mean, we also talk cars. Because John's a car guy, okay, turning money into noise, right?
That's right. That's what we do.
This is what we do. We turn money into noise. So cars. And you're going to Africa?
Yeah, in June. Yeah.
Where are you going? Namibia? No,
I'm going
South Africa.
South Africa, right up by the Popo River, where it meets with the Zimbabwe, and we're gonna go after hippo.
What gun?
505 Gibbs with our 600 grain solid soft combo.
Actually, we're going to be able to see, we're shooting that gun on the GUNTALK TV show. Shot the 505 Gibbs for a show we did on recoil. Got it in slow motion.
If that one there doesn't push you around, you're a really big, strong guy.
Anybody who could shoot that without taking a step back is a man you don't want to mess with.
That's exactly
right. That's exactly it. Well, guys, it is great. I'm so glad you were able to be with us. This has been fun. This is kind of a cool deal.
Yeah.
That's great.
Let's do it again.
Enjoyed it.
We can do that
with headsets.
There you go. All right. So we got laserlight.com.
Laserlight.com, yep.
Okay.
DoubleTapAmmo.com.
TimneyTriggers.com.
You guys are so clever. What massive marketers you are. Let's take our name and stick it on the website. That'll work,
A profound grasp of the obvious.
There you go. So now we're going to go take a break. We're going to go talk guns some more. We're going to shoot some more TV. If you want to see this, if you're listening on radio and you want to see this craziness we've done in the studio, all you have to do is go to our YouTube website, our YouTube channel, look for Gun Talk there, and you can actually see us doing radio, which is kind of some kind of a strange thing there. All right. Thanks for joining us, and don't go far.